Okay, all of you. So I hope we have understood anaerobic respiration, fermentation properly. So we'll finish the last part of the chapter, 4-5 minutes. The concept of RQ, respiratory quotient, and what does RQ mean? Respiratory quotient is the concept in which during aerobic respiration ऑक्सीजन कंज्यूम होता है और CO2 रिलीज होता है. O2 is used and CO2 is evolved. So we all know C6H12O6 plus 6O2 ऑक्सीजन कंज्यूम होता है, gives 6 CO2 plus 6H2O plus energy. CO2 evolve होता है, and the ratio of volume of CO2 evolved to the volume of oxygen used in respiration is called as respiratory quotient or RQ. So what is RQ, sir? RQ, that is respiratory quotient, is the volume of CO2 evolved upon volume of oxygen consumed. And oxygen जितना कंज्यूम होता है और CO2 जितना इवॉल्व होता है, उसके रेशियो को कहते हैं रेस्पिरेटरी कोशेंट. So which nutrients can be respired? Sir, we remember already we can use carbohydrates, और एक बार carbohydrates खत्म हो गया, then we can use fats, और फैट्स भी खत्म हो गए, then last में we use proteins. So carbohydrates, proteins, fats, or to be more specific, carbohydrates, fats and proteins all will break down and release energy. तो carbohydrate, fats, protein तीनों breakdown होके energy release होती है. चलो देखते हैं इनका respective RQ कितना होता है. In case of carbohydrates, RQ will be 1. RQ will be 1. Why, sir? Because say in glucose, we know the chemical reaction. C6H12O6 plus 6O2 gives you 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O plus 38 ATP. So, how many O2s are used? 6. How many CO2s are evolved? 6. So what will be the RQ of glucose? 6 CO2 evolved upon 6 O2 used. So the RQ will be 1. So in case of glucose, 6 O2 evolved upon 6 O2 used. How much is RQ? RQ is 1. Respiratory quotient of glucose is 1. Respiratory quotient of glucose or carbohydrates is 1. That is glucose. Respiratory quotient is 1. Now, समझो glucose use हो गए. Glucose use होने के बाद next what is used? Fats. Fats are used in respiration. RQ is less than 1. For fats, RQ is less than 1. Why, sir? Because the example we take tripalmitine. Tripalmitine is a fat. And what is tripalmitine chemically? Chemically, tripalmitine is C51H98O6. C51H98O6, it uses 145 oxygen. तो oxygen कितना use होता है? 145 molecules of oxygen and evolves 102 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 98 water plus energy. So this is a very complex reaction, because fats are C51H98O6. So 2 molecules of fats C51H98O6 इसके 2 molecule utilize 145 oxygen, give out 102 carbon dioxide plus 98 water and energy. So how much will be the RQ? RQ will be amount of CO2 evolved, which is 102 CO2 upon the amount of oxygen used, which is 145. So 145, so 102 CO2 evolved upon 145 oxygen used. How much is the numerator? 102. How much is the denominator? 145. So numerator is less than the denominator. So how much will be the RQ? It will be less than 1. And to be more precise, अगर आप 102 divided by 145 करो, it turns out to be 0.7. 0.7 is the RQ of fats. So how much is the RQ of tripalmitine? Tripalmitine ka RQ, in other words, fats ka RQ is 0.7. Fats ka RQ is 0.7. Why did this happen? Because fats के अंदर देख रहा C51 था, H98 है, O6 है. And sir, ये जब break होता है tripalmitine, sir, check this here. How much is the amount of carbon in it? 51. But oxygen content is only O6. So, agar oxygen content is less, then we will require lots of additional oxygen. अगर मॉलिक्यूल में ऑक्सीजन ज्यादा होता था तो एक्सटर्नल ऑक्सीजन रिक्वायर्ड टू लिबरेट CO2 will be less. बट यहां कार्बन 51 है लेकिन ऑक्सीजन सिर्फ 6 है. तो C51 को लिबरेट करने के लिए C51 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 2, इन अदर वर्ड्स 102 कार्बन को लिबरेट करने के लिए only 6 oxygen are there. So how many external oxygen we will require for 51C and 2 C51 H98 O6. इसके लिए 2 C51 means 102 CO2 liberate करना है और उसके लिए available oxygen कितने हैं? Only 6. So how many additional oxygens are required? 145 additional molecules of oxygen are required because oxygen content was very less in fats. Fats mein oxygen content is less. So for liberating 2C51, in other words 102 carbon dioxides, only O6 was available. So we required 145 oxygens. So we required 145 oxygen to liberate 2C51, in other words 102 CO2. तो ऑक्सीजन कितने यूज किए हमने? 145. और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कितने हैं? 102. So how much is the numerator? 102. How much is denominator? 145. So how much will be RQ? Less than 1. How much does it turn out to be? Exactly 0.7. So अगर एक फैट के अंदर या किसी भी मॉलिक्यूल के अंदर अगर कार्बन ज्यादा है और ऑक्सीजन कम है, कार्बन ज्यादा है और ऑक्सीजन कम है, then we will require additional oxygens. We will require additional oxygen to liberate less amount of carbon dioxide. तो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कितने इवॉल्व किए हमने? ओनली 102. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड हमने किए 51 into 2, that is 102 कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इवॉल्व किए. और ऑक्सीजन कितने यूज किए? 145 ऑक्सीजन यूज किए. So numerator is only 102, denominator is 145. So how much is the RQ? 0.7. तो फैट्स का RQ क्यों कम है? Because fats are rich in carbon, rich in hydrogen, but very poor in oxygen. तो जब respiratory substrate ऑक्सीजन में पुअर होता है तो एक्सटर्नल ऑक्सीजन ज्यादा यूज करना पड़ता है एंड आरक्यू विल बी लेस देन 1. तो फैट्स का ओनली 0.7. समझो प्रोटीन्स आर रेस्पिरेटरी सबस्ट्रेट, then proteins का ratio would be 0.9. Proteins also, amino acids, have got more carbon in their number and oxygens in a protein are less. तो अमाइनो एसिड में कार्बन ज्यादा होते हैं और ऑक्सीजन कम होता है. दैट मीन्स अगर अमाइनो एसिड में ऑक्सीजन कम है, external oxygen required will be more. We will require more external oxygen, and to liberate more carbon dioxides, less oxygen is present in the amino acid. So external oxygen required will be more. So again, for liberating CO2, we will need more amount of oxygen. Oxygen more will be required. So in other words, numerator is less, denominator is more. So RQ will be less than 1. And proteins के लिए specific RQ कितना है? 0.9. Proteins में specific RQ कितना है? 0.9. So once again, ग्लूकोज का आरक्यू क्या है? ग्लूकोज का आरक्यू इज एग्जैक्टली 1. फैट्स का आरक्यू इज 0.7 एंड प्रोटीन्स का आरक्यू इज 0.9. ये तीन खास याद रखना. गिवन इन द एनसीईआरटी बुक, please remember, ग्लूकोज का आरक्यू कितना है? 1. फैट्स का आरक्यू कितना है? 0.7. और प्रोटीन्स का आरक्यू कितना है? 0.9. ये तीन तो याद रखने ही है. गिवन इन द एनसीईआरटी बुक. We will end it with a little more advanced. ग्लूकोज, फैट्स, प्रोटीन का आरक्यू, ग्लूकोज का 1, फैट्स का 0.7, प्रोटीन्स का 0.9. ये तो आपने मेमोराइज कर ही लिया. समझो ऑर्गेनिक एसिड्स, कुछ बैक्टीरिया ऑर्गेनिक एसिड्स को यूज करते हैं फॉर मेकिंग एनर्जी. ऑर्गेनिक एसिड्स फॉर मेकिंग एनर्जी. and organic acid is used for making energy. So sir, what will happen? Just a second. Yeah, organic acids are used for making of energy. For example, malic acid or oxaloacetic acid or citric acid और oxalosuccinic acid, ये ब्रेक करके इसमें से एनर्जी लिबरेट करते हैं. सर, how much will be RQ? You only tell me. Sir, if you remember, all organic acids are parts of the TCA cycle, tricarboxylic acid cycle. So organic acid से malic acid has in it COOH, COOH and COOH. So already there is high amount of oxygen in them. Oxygen content is high, which means that CO2 will be liberated. 3 CO2 liberate हो जाते हैं from the 3 COOH, COOH and COOH. तो 3 COOH से 3 CO2 तो अपने आप ही लिबरेट हो जाते हैं. अपने आप ही लिबरेट हो जाते हैं 3 CO2. Means amount of CO2 evolved is more and amount of oxygen used is less. So RQ will be greater than 1. because amount of oxygen evolved is more and amount of oxygen used is less, RQ is greater than 1. Why is RQ greater than 1? Because malic acid is already rich in oxygen. Because it has tricarboxylic COOH, COOH, COH, तो oxygen already rich है. Fats का क्या problem था? If you remember, fats में oxygen कम था, इसलिए external oxygen ज़्यादा use किया and oxygen was used more as a denominator, so RQ became less than 1. That is in fats and proteins. But organic acid में already malic acid has COOH, 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 so amount of external oxygen required is less because COOH, COOH, COOH combine to form CO2 themselves. So CO2 evolved is more, amount of oxygen used is less. So how much is the RQ? Greater than 1. Numerator more than the denominator, so RQ will be greater than 1. So organic acids ka RQ is greater than 1. What about anaerobic respiration? Sir, that's in bacteria. Anaerobic respiration, C6H12O6 plus 0 O2 used. O2 तो यूज ही नहीं होता है. Gives you 2C2H5OH plus 2CO2. So, how much will be RQ? RQ for anaerobic respiration will be C6H12O6 plus 0 O2. 0 O2 gives you 2C2H5OH plus 2CO2. तो RQ कितना होगा? RQ कितना होगा? RQ will be how much is the amount of CO2 evolved? 2 CO2. RQ evolve कितना हुआ? 2 CO2. Oxygen use कितना हुआ? 0. So how much will be RQ? RQ will be 2 CO2 upon 0 O2, which means 2 upon 0. Anything upon 0 is infinity. So how much is the RQ of anaerobic respiration? RQ of anaerobic respiration is infinity. RQ of anaerobic respiration is 2 upon 0. Anything upon 0 is infinity. So anaerobic respiration is infinity. Thus, we end the chapter. RQ of glucose is 1. RQ of fats is 0.7. RQ of proteins is 0.9. And RQ of organic acids is greater than 1. And RQ of anaerobic respiration is infinity. RQ of anaerobic respiration is infinity. So RQ of glucose 1, RQ of fats 0.7, RQ of proteins 0.9, RQ of organic acids greater than 1, RQ of the anaerobic respiration infinity. Chalo, with that we have finished with the most difficult chapter of standard 11th biology, respiration. Abhi 12th में करेंगे the most difficult chapter of 11th 12th biology, the great chapter of genetics. It is far more difficult than respiration also. So जब हमने reproduction किया, nutrition किया, we thought it was tough, but we found respiration to be more difficult. When we will do genetics, you will find respiration is easier, genetics is more difficult. Superb concept. Much later, next chapter, we will start with the same in plants. photosynthesis. Superb again. Superb. Respiration plants में होता है, animals में होता है, plants में भी होता है respiration, but plants की speciality है photosynthesis. How will light get converted into starch? Light will become glucose and starch. Superb chapter. We will start with photosynthesis. Chalo, see you all soon. Take care. God bless you, beta. Bye-bye.